Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. We're jumping right into something absolutely wild today. John Wick Chapter 5, the story continues. We are breaking down exactly what happens next in the saga based on that insane new concept trailer that just dropped. Look, if you thought the High Table actually put the Babiana in the ground for good, well, you are in for a massive surprise. We've combed through all the explosive dialogue and those subtle thematic hints from the new footage, and we're going to systematically map out exactly where this story is heading.
Right out of the gate, the trailer hits us with this incredibly chilling opening line. They buried me, covered me in dirt, and walked away thinking the story was done. Man, what a hook. It immediately confirms what we all kind of secretly hoped, right? That ending we saw previously, definitely not the end of the line. It perfectly sets the stage for the literal resurrection of our favorite assassin. Because let's be real here, historically speaking, burying John Wick has literally never worked out well for anybody. The world thought they had finally closed the book on him, but yeah, the story is far from over.
So, Part 1, Rising from the Grave. Okay, let's dive into this. The rapid-fire dialogue in the trailer actually maps out his rescue with just incredible precision. It's a clear three-step process. First, he's left for dead, literally covered in dirt. But then, step 2 changes everything. He gets pulled out by an unknown dying man. And you know this isn't just some random act of kindness. It's a desperate handoff. Which brings us right to step 3. John is given a mysterious medallion. This sequence is absolutely fascinating to me because it completely strips John of all his previous alliances and resources. He's starting from literal scratch, armed with nothing but the breath in his lungs and this cryptic new artifact. But wait, because that medallion comes with a pretty grim warning. The world I bled for is being erased. And wow, that changes everything. Think about it. John Wick has spent the last 4 chapters navigating, fighting, and, well, bleeding within the very specific ancient rules and traditions of the assassin underworld. The gold coins, the continental, the blood markers, the whole shebang. This line tells us that this entire foundational world we've come to know is facing total, absolute annihilation. Moving on to Part 2, a new digital threat. And this brilliantly illustrates the core conflict of Chapter 5. It's a massive shift. On one side, we've got John Wick. His whole existence is visceral, it's analog, it's intensely physical. He literally bled for his world. But on the other side, we have this new villain, a guy who, according to the trailer, has, quote, never touched blood in his life. He sits behind sterile screens, he presses buttons, and he just watches everything burn from a perfectly safe distance. This isn't a fight against a highly skilled martial artist or some mob boss in a kinetic physical shootout anymore. John is going up against digital warfare. It is the ultimate clash of the old analog world versus the cold, new digital world. Which leads right to this absolute badass mission statement from John. Tonight, I take the screens away. I mean, let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a cool cinematic one-liner. It's John Wick's new, highly specific mission objective. He knows he can't just punch a digital phantom, right? He has to drag this sterile, button-pushing enemy out from behind the safety of those monitors and force him into the physical, bloody reality that John Wick completely dominates. He's going to force the digital world to become visceral. Now, Part 3, the underground ally. Because John isn't going into this new kind of war entirely alone, we get introduced to a fascinating new ally who grew up entirely underground. We're talking stone walls, candlelight. She never even saw the sun until she was sent up to the surface specifically to fight for this world. This grim, incredibly secluded, almost medieval upbringing, it perfectly aligns with the dark, mythic tone of John's analog world. She's essentially a creature of the shadows, which honestly makes her the absolute perfect counterbalance to an enemy who relies entirely on the glowing light of computer screens. But you know, trust wasn't exactly immediate. At first, she just sees a legend pulled from a grave, broken and bleeding. But then, we see her perspective start to shift. She says, I watched him stand up every single time they put him down, and this hits the nail on the head. It highlights her crucial realization of John's most defining characteristic. It's not just his perfect aim or his insane martial arts skills. It's his relentless, basically impossible resilience. Even when he is stripped of absolutely everything, broken and bleeding, the Baba Yaga just refuses to stay down. And finally, Part 4, Legend versus the Future. We really need to remind ourselves why this new enemy is so uniquely terrifying. Just consider this chilling claim from the villain. No one moves without my permission. Now, that's not just your standard bad guy boasting.
In a modern digital age where every single camera, every financial transaction, and every communication is tracked, this implies a level of omnipresent control that is just staggering. I mean, how do you even hunt a man when he literally controls the environment you're moving through? He sees everything.
So the crucial point here is captured perfectly in this incredibly arrogant quote from the antagonist. He dismisses the name Baba Yaga like it's absolutely nothing. He says, legends are just men who haven't met the future yet. And I am the future. He even dares John to come after him, claiming he's already seen every step John is going to take long before he even takes it. He's treating John like an obsolete relic, basically a piece of analog history that's just waiting to be deleted by a superior, predictive digital algorithm. And that leaves us with a final, really compelling question to chew on. Can a legend actually defeat a man who already knows his next step? If the villain's algorithms can predict every single physical move John makes, how can sheer willpower and resilience possibly win the day? It really sets up the ultimate puzzle for John Wick Chapter 5. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this breakdown has you as fired up for this epic clash of past and future as I am. Keep that question in mind, and I will see you next time.